ndị be anyị ekenekwa unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Ha si nke echiri ya zelu ndị be anyị daalụ niile nkwenye si na-esore anyị ya na-eme n'elu akwụkwọ a na Eastern News 24 bụ ebe si were wetara ya bụ nnukwu ozi gbara ọkpọrọkpọ gbasịta maka ife na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya na gbasịta maka nwere onwe anyị na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, ya bụ ya wetara unu bụ ndị a bụ nnukwu ife maka o nwere okwu anyị kwuburu oge gara aga na ana Igbo ya adịrịrị na ihe ọbụla onye Igbo chọrọ na ya eweta ya bụ nke ọma no matter what, and ana Igbo ya adị mma no matter mkpọgbu ọbụla a na-eme anyị n'obodo a, ana Igbo ya akwụdorịrị ife anyị kwuburu n'oge gara aga. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ya ewetara n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị chọkwu ntụnye ya bụ ife alụ ge ya bụ ife unu ga-esi ya bụ ife unu drọpụra your own comment na comment section biro ife iche gbasịta maka ihe ndị anyị je ga ugbu a. Ọ bụ na nke akwa n'ụbọchị izi gị isore na Eastern News 24 kabalụ ka ị like ya and subscribe and turn on your notification ka ị lapụ na-eme isi any of our update dịka anyị na-drop ya n'elu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24. Alright, over to you, sir.
Chairman Mr. Julius Abure and the National President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, of allowing their differences get in the way of their responsibilities to the working class. The group under the umbrella of the Lagos Assembly of Veterans and Trade Unionists said that Abure and Ajero have expended time and energy on who will control the party. The group demanded the immediate resignation of Abure and Ajero for failing in their mandate. How does the party intend to move away from this crisis? Is there any solution? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Ikenna Azomchine. He is a former governorship aspirant in Anambra State and also the obedient general for a new Nigeria movement. Thank you for coming to the studio. How are you today?
Thank you, madam. I'm glad to be here in your studio in Abuja.
Wonderful. So, the Labour Party, a lot has been happening of recent and everyone has been watching. From what we see so far, can we say that the Labour Party is on its way into oblivion?
Well, from the obedient perspective, I must be very honest because I'm obedient. I cannot speak for the Labour Party. But I think that the Labour Party must tread with caution because the coming of Peter Obi has skyrocketed the ability of the Labour Party to be a formidable opposition in Nigeria, and they shouldn't play with that. You have 6 million obedience plus myself and many more who are waiting to be directed by Labour Party. So we are worried, and that's why people like me are speaking out. The NLC and the Labour Party must respect the agreements they signed. They must make sure that a proper convention is organized from the ward level to the state level to the federal level, and it must be given within the appropriate time. You cannot, conduct a convention like a mushroom party.
Well, talking about the convention, they already had it in Anambra State. And you're calling, not only you, I think some other people have also called for another convention. How is that going to pan out? Are you saying the officials that were elected during that convention, that their positions are null and void? 7 members
of the NWC, does that constitute a credible convention at Newi? Where are the facilities? I was I was a member of the National Convention Planning Committee of the PDP severally. Convention is a time for the party loyalists to be given time to converge, to embrace each other, to showcase the power of the party. You cannot, for example, they shifted venues in less than a week 3 times. This shows that these guys are jokers.
Well, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi, he's been also quite vocal about this. He was speaking some days ago, and he said something very revealing, or made some revealing remarks. And I quote, let me quote him. He said, "When you go into a city, try to change them, live with them, fast with them. In the end, you can't come out and even wash the sand that is in your shoes." Is, that's quite damning. Does that tell us where Mr. Peter Obi is headed?
I don't speak for His Excellency Peter Obi, but I can tell you that Peter Obi is in a very difficult position at this moment. It's difficult for you to know what path to take when people you normally should believe in their ability to do the right thing. I don't know who is really fueling what is going on in Labour Party. Peter Obi at this level, every Nigerian should sympathize with him. That man has done a great work of assembling all of us. I mean, I'm not going to sit here in your channel's television to tell you what happened in the 2023 elections. People like us, we are organic. We came on board with our monies, with our time, with our life. It's an organic movement, and Peter Obi has been a wonderful leader till now. Look, we are not giving up on the new Nigeria. That's why I'm here. I'm not speaking for the Labour Party. Obedience are in every political party, even in the APC. It will shock you that there are more obedience there. And we are just waiting for any little opportunity we will have to be able to mobilize this movement that nobody will ever imagine what will happen in 2027. We don't want to speculate, but
right.
We are positive.
Right. Yes, you say that you are not very much interested in the Labour Party, but the Labour Party still gave the obedient movement a platform last year on which to run the presidential election. So it's still an important party. So at this point, what are your expectations from the Labour Party? Do you think that this crisis that is going on will be resolved at all?
Sure. What we expect from Labour Party is to go back to the drawing board, conduct an all-inclusive convention that is the norm, and everything will fall in place. And I'm sure His Excellency Peter Obi will not accept anything that is below a proper convention. But don't draw me too much in the Labour Party. Like I said, obedience are in all political parties. We are just looking at our principle, his body language and all whatnot. Obedience, we are more than 12 million obedience that are currently active. And we are not, we will not be pulled into the Labour Party brouhaha. We are consolidating and taking the message to the Nigerian people that, look, you are not buying bread cheaper than anybody. Being a Christian or a Muslim does not bring food on your table. So we Nigerians, we must wake up, hold our leaders accountable. Look, I was just coming into Abuja. I stood on the traffic for hours. What stops a tram from running from Kefi to Abuja? People like you can even live in Jos and go to work. So we have to leave political parties alone and go straight to who is going to give us the dividends of democracy.
I understand what you're saying. At the same time, you still need a party to run for election. Nigeria is not that advanced at the stage where an independent candidate can strike it on its own. It still needs a vehicle to get to power.
I don't like that word of Nigeria is not advanced. Can I tell you?
No, politically, in terms of running for
office. Who will advance it?
Hold on. Do you think that if in 2027, Mr. Peter Obi decides to run as an independent candidate, do you think he can do that?
Sure. We just need the constitution to be amended, probably to create a room for an independent candidate. But let me tell you something. The problem of Nigeria is not our leaders, it's we, me and you. That's what I see. We have to forget about political parties and look at the individuals concerned. Who will give us the leadership that we are looking for? I am here now because of Iftar. The obedient Muslims are fasting. So a whole lot of them I met during the obedient campaign called on me. Look, we can't even afford food. So we've mobilized the little we can to visit the villages. For me, I'm a low-key, I believe in the lowest people in the society. You know, these are the guys who are suffering, you know, if you understand me. The Labour Party issues, I'm sure His Excellency Peter Obi is on top of the matter, and I'm sure a very, very all-inclusive convention will soon be in the pipeline if they want to do the right thing.
Obviously, you're a passionate follower of Mr. Peter Obi, and some have argued that, yes, he's become a phenomenon, not only in Nigeria, but in the whole of Africa, and a lot of people are watching him. At the same time, everybody that is a political leader needs to be involved in building the party that they would use to get to power. He's seen as someone who is almost like a one-man squad. How would you respond to that?
Well, it's safer to be a one-man squad. If you allow them to pull you into the political party politics, you might end up losing a base. I think he's a very smart man. He's playing with the rules he's not corrupt. He's not ready to go into the intrigues of political party. Let me tell you, if Peter Obi will fall into the Labour Party crisis, you will hear names calling. He wouldn't want to be called names. I know the dangers of him not talking. So he should better stay calm. We obedience will talk for him. I'm not speaking for Peter Obi, but I know the troubles of Labour Party. Abure has to decide to obey the constitution of NLC, the agreement of NLC. Let me shock you. The Labour Party has written to INEC now that the original certificate of Labour Party is missing. So, and they've been issued a new one. So why would INEC reject their convention and then at the same time giving them a new certificate of, I mean, what's going on? Somebody is really pinching on the structure that is threatening 2027, and we all know where that is headed, and we have to just allow things fall out.
The Director General of the Obidati 2023 presidential election, Mr. Aki Oshuntoku, has also spoken about this. And to him, he said that the Labour Party is behaving like other political parties in Nigeria. And so that implies that he and the Labour movement thought that they were coming to a party that will be different from the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress. Is this a fair assessment of what is going on?
Well, we know that the Labour Party is a beautiful bride. And when you marry a beautiful woman, you have to make sure you have what it takes to keep her. So we are not unaware of those intruders that are ready to, reduce the strength of the Labour Party. But we are confident that we will get out of this. You're
confident that another National Convention and Congresses will hold?
There must be a solution. His Excellency is capable.
If that does not occur, what's the next steps?
Well,
or what are the next steps?
Mr. Peter Obi knows the answer.
Mr. Peter Obi knows the answer. For you as an obedient, what would you like to see? Because you're very much invested in this entire journey of trying to create a new Nigeria.
The new Nigeria has no party. Anywhere the leader goes, we follow.
A new Nigeria has no party?
Yes.
So
no party.
You're confident that in 2027, even without a party, the obedient movement...
There will be a party.
Okay.
There will be a party. Just allow the movement to... I mean, we are hoping and we are praying that we will fly the Labour Party a ticket. If our leader moves anywhere, we'll follow. The obedient movement is what we're consolidating. We are moving around telling Nigerians, look, you are now buying bread for how much? You're buying fuel for how much? Let's forget about party politics and concentrate on Nigerians. The new Nigeria is what we are looking for. And we can only get it through a leader like Peter Obi.
You see, apart from the political party, so now in Labour, there is the Lamidi Apapa faction, there is the Julius Abure faction, and then there is the Joe Ajero faction. Yes, it is a party that they are trying to, take control of. And you say that it's not important. But even if you go with the obedient movement and set up another, a congregate, there is always tussle among people when people are fighting for power. You do not think that if you come up with your own institution or organization, we will see similarly what's happening within the Labour Party occur there?
I think the Labour Party issue is not an unsolvable issue. It is solvable, and I'm sure our principal is on top of the matter. We Obedience, we are not allowing anybody to distract us in the pursuit of the new Nigeria, like I just told you. I've just traveled to Bauchi and Jos to meet the Obedience who are fasting. We are concerned about the Nigerian people that are suffering right about now. We are not, you see, Labour Party knows what to do. Abure and Co knows what to do. These are just, you cannot move around Nigeria talking about the new Nigeria, telling people that Labour Party is taking a very dangerous step at this moment, because the whole country is looking at Labour Party to be the formidable opposition. And don't be surprised that there are some big ants on the side that are looking for the collapse of the Labour Party, and I advise them to trade with caution.
I like that you're very, gung-ho about the movement rather than the party, because it is the people that own the country. It is the people that will eventually lead the way and direct their leaders. With this in mind, you're confident that a new Nigeria is possible. How soon do you see that new Nigeria that you yearn for?
Can I tell you why I'm confident? In the early 90s, when I migrated to Belgium, I met people from Rwanda, people from all over the world that migrated, also due to instability in their own countries. Those countries are now stable. And when you talk to them, they will tell you, hold your leaders accountable. Go there, don't shy away. Insist that the political class gives you the dividends of democracy. And that's why a whole lot of us in diaspora, we have decided that we are not going to keep quiet. When you fly to London, for example, when you are landing, you see the beautiful environment, you see light everywhere. They also travel, they see it. We insist that the Nigerian people are giving the same. And we are not going to allow them, whatever games they want to play to bring down Labour Party, we are not going to be part of it. We insist that the Nigerian people are awake. They have to get up and take over their country. They must take over their country. We are not going to, continue to allow the giant of Africa that we know, even abroad, they tell us you are from Nigeria. What are you doing here? When you answer this question for 25, 30 years, then you have to wake up.
Okay. Ikena Zomchine, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
And by the linen kunisnes niru akwụkwọ edike iso wee gee ya bụ ife ịnụrụ ihe the ballon the gentle lion kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke tata anọ ọzọ dịka ibe ya bụ ka efi nwere ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ ife okwu olili nne okwu ya dịka osi dịka efi nwere ike ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife drop ya on the comment section below. Chetakwa ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka isi were wetara nnukwu ozi ya dọka mkpa. Daalụ n'ụmụnne.